You ready for this? This is how I read a game, okay? This is how I read a game. So far, nothing's happening. We're making drones. I haven't fucked my build up, so I feel confident that I'm on par. I'm on point right now. Excuse me, sorry. We're good. Alright. So I take my natural at 16. It's whatever. I can take it at 17 as well, it doesn't matter. 16 or 17 is totally like interchangeable, it's fine. It's not the biggest of deals. 17's a little bit better against Terran, but it's whatever. Take my 18 gas, 17 pool. Everything is super ViBE, is that the smoke? No, that's just me having mucus. If there was smoke or no, if there was smoke or no smoke, I would have probably been the same way. I don't actually have smoke visibly in my house right now. There's a fucking shitload of smoke outside, though. There is. Okay, so far, nothing has gone wrong. However, we're taking a risk. Okay, this is a big deal. You ready for something? You ready for some knowledge? Are you a Zerg player? Are you ready to learn something? A Reaper is going to be potentially crossing my Overlord very soon. And if a Reaper does cross my Overlord, we can guarantee that this guy opened up with a gas and he opened up with a Reaper, which very much tells us that we're not getting Hellion rushed. We're not getting Ghost rushed. We're not getting all this bullshit tech rushed. He's not opening up with Insta-Reactor Reaper Marines. He's not doing any of this shit. Most likely, it's going to be a natural. It could be 3-Rax Reaper, but most likely it's going to be natural. Now, obviously, we want to scout the natural as well. But if we see a Reaper, that's a big fucking sign of telling us already how the game is going. Are we going to guaranteed see it? No, not necessarily. He might go down this way. It could happen, but yeah. But if he crosses my Overlord with the Reaper, then now we know he's going Reaper. And there we go, right? There's the Reaper. So now we've confirmed, even before seeing his base, that there is a Reaper coming to my base, which tells us everything I just said about scouting his base. It tells us what we can expect from him. Chances are like 90% now that it's going to be a factory with a reactor follow-up with a Marine. He's going to go Reaper Marine, reactor factory. It's 90% chance that that'll be the case. And there'll be a natural now. It doesn't have to mean that. There could be 2 more racks like right here and here. Like totally could happen too. And that would be like a 3-Rax Reaper opener. But chances are high that it's going to be a Reaper follow-up or a Hellion follow-up after the Reaper, and he's going to play macro. Now, on top of that, okay, if I did not see a Reaper, I could skip Zerglings. But because I see a Reaper, I am not going to skip Zerglings. That is a thing you could do. So now that I've confirmed it, if I let's say I didn't confirm it and the Reaper jumped down here and went this way, straight up, and he was trying to avoid my Overlord, and I skipped Zerglings, I would then have to play the fucking Sport Color Evo Chamber game to not lose a drone. But it's a risk I would have to take, right? If I wanted to do that. It's like not a guarantee that there's no Reaper yet, but it's probable. The Reaper would have to go longer, so my Queen would be out sooner. Blah, blah, blah. The point I'm trying to make, that this is a really small part of the game, but seeing the Reaper is a big part of the game because it tells you how greedy you can be. And it tells you what he's probably going to go into. The likelihood of that. So I already have a good understanding of the pacing of the game we're probably going to go into right now already by seeing what we're doing here. It's standard. Now we see a command center. Now it's guaranteed standard. There's no fucking 3-Rax Reaper all in. There's no weird ass bullshit all in happening. It's a Reaper expand, which it doesn't have to be Hellions, but again, chances are high that it's Hellions. But even if it wasn't Hellions, it's macro. So we confirm what kind of version it is. And now I know I'm making Lings now because the Reaper's on its way to my base. And we see, okay, it's a factory follow-up. And it's a barracks. And now it's a reactor. And we've confirmed everything. We know it's going to be a reactor Hellion follow-up to what he's already done. And the reason why my lings are not made immediately, by the way, is because I took my third base super fast. I took a very fucking fast third. This third, it went down before the Reaper could deny it. So I love getting a third down before the Reaper can deny it because it allows me to start saturating this base really fast. It allows me to have faster creep spread and all that jazz. All that cool shit. It's great. Let me make a spore color because he actually zoned me out from the gas. And then my lings spawn and zone out the Reaper. And then I cancel the drone on the Evo, or on the spore, because my queen's about to spawn and my lings were like surrounding it and until I fucked up my micro here. And then I actually should have rebuilt. As soon as I saw the Reaper come back, I should have rebuilt a new spore because my drone's going to get 2-shot now. And I actually let my drone die like a nub. And my drone dies. So I'm like, ah, shit. That's annoying. My drone died. But it's not the end of the world. It's whatever. But we've confirmed everything about the game so far. I know he's going for a Hellion reactor. And we know he's expanding. And we're going 3 base. It's so fucking standard right now. There's nothing. The only thing that's about this game that's bad is I lost a drone. Not the end of the world, though. We're just now like 5% behind where we want to be. It's a little bit behind. Game is super normal, though. And for now for the next 45 seconds, nothing will happen except for the Reaper poking me. Or like 1 full minute. Like up until about 4 minutes, nothing will happen except for the Reaper being annoying. And I know the Reaper's not going to go to my third base. Because why the fuck would he go to my third base if it's already there? If he scouted it and saw it was done, he's not going to go to my third base. So chances are high that if he sees this is done, he's going to go like this. Jump up, go in here. It's the only option he really has. Because if he was going to stay at the natural, the only reason why he would stay at the natural is to deny my creep tumor. And he's not even trying to do that. So he's going to go to my main as soon as he confirms I have a third. So if I had to guess, his Reaper's in this area somewhere right now confirming my third exists. And the Reaper's right there. He's literally leaving the third because he's checking my third. So I can already assume he went to go check that. And after he checks that, he's going to go around and leave and go down this way. Because again, if he was going to stop the creep tumor, he would have needed to have done that already. But he didn't want to do that. He literally let me have it an uncontested creep tumor. So I already know he's now going to go here and here. It just makes logical sense. So he's going to be here with the Reaper in about 10 seconds. If he's playing efficient. Assuming he's playing efficient. And my Overlord now is also going over here to scout the center. And now I've also confirmed where his Reaper is. He actually came back. See how shitty that was? It makes no fucking sense that he went back to my natural if he's not going to contest the tumor. That was the biggest waste of time for that Reaper. And he just fucked up what he could have been doing. I would have assumed he would have went down here. But he actually jumped to my natural and just jumped out by getting his ass kicked. Right? So you're assuming your opponent's going to be where it would mean the most as you would take the most damage. And if they're not there, it doesn't matter because then they're not going to do anything anyways. So he leaves, and now he's going to most likely come this way again when he regens some health. And in the meantime, I'm going to spread my creep to my third base, and I'm going to chill. We're all good. And now we're going to start sending our Overlord in to his main base here in just a moment to figure out what his follow-up is. But again, I'm expecting Hellions, and Hellions are going to be at my base at about 4 minutes. Like 3:45 to 4 minutes. And there's the Reaper in my main. It's only logical that it would have come that way. So I have another Overlord that's in the main, you know. I could leave it. I could actually put it at the Reaper jump spot or whatever I want to do. This Overlord should also move forward, honestly, because the creep now reveals the spot. I want to go forward in front of my creep to see Hellions.
Yo, ViBE, Happy New Year.
Yo, Callus, thank you for the 28-month resub. Happy New Year, dude. I hope you had a good holiday. Thank you, thank you. Okay, my Overlord's kind of chilling on the Reaper jump spot and also seeing some of the potential like future Liberator or Medevac areas if he wanted to do that at the moment. And now, right about now, if I had to guess, there should be Hellions and Reaper either right here or right here. How do I fucking know that? Because around 4 minutes is when the first 2 Hellions will arrive when he swaps off the reactor in the factory and the barracks. He swaps them over. So if I had to guess, there's going to be either here or here would make the most sense. It's probably not going to be down here because I didn't take my third there. So why the fuck would he go there? It doesn't make any sense to go there. So he's going to be either in front of my natural or in front of my third. And if we look at the game, he's got a Reaper down here and he's got 2 Hellions on the way. So he's on his way to my base right now. So I know he's going to be around my base around now. And now, while this is happening, I start scouting into his main base in just a second. It should happen like right now or any second now. And right now I need to, like I said before, this Overlord should literally move right there. I don't know why the fuck I don't have it going up there. I should go right there. And the reason why you do that is so you can watch where the Hellions go exactly. Because I know he's there. I just don't know exactly where he is. I know he's somewhere around my base. But if I have Overlords in the front, I can always put my Queens in front of my creep and I can spread creep. And not have to, like, guess if it's going to die. So that's not great, right? I should definitely have my Overlords. This one needs to fucking move like there. This one needs to move like there. And I should have another Overlord like this one go like right here or something. So I can see all entrances to my base and I can easily spread creep. So that's a blunder by me to not spread Overlords properly. And this one's now moving into his main base. So I'm going to confirm what his follow-up is. Is he going to all-in me on 2 bases? Is he going to take a 3rd base? What's he going to do? And now before I even see... Here's a lot of information already again. Before I even see his main base, this Viking is already attacking my Overlord at 4 minutes and 20 seconds. That confirms this guy did not build an add-on on his starport. He did not build a tech lab. He did not build a reactor. He might have swapped it off from the barracks. He might have built an add-on right next to the starport with the barracks and then did a quick swap over. And if he did that, it would mean that this guy literally has 0 fucking intentions of going bio for a little while. It's super delayed tech lab on that barracks, which could then turn into a Banshee Hellion opener or a Liberator Hellion opener, or not really a Liberator because there's no reason to make an add-on for Liberator. But do you see what I'm trying to say, though? The point I'm trying to make here is if he did an add-on swap with the barracks, again, for now the starport as well, if he is going to go bio, it's going to be super delayed. It is more of a indicator that it's going to be mech if that was what he did. Like, he's probably going to go Hellion BC as a follow-up to the Viking or some shit like that. And he's making the fusion core as he did a swap over. Something like that. Again, it's a sign that tells you this guy made a fucking Viking first really, really, really fast. It could be mech if he did that thing I said with the add-on swap, and there is actually a tech lab on the starport. And it could be late bio. Or, so that's not the only thing it means. Or he could have an add-on still on the barracks, and he could be going bio right now, like getting ready for it, with a stim pack upgrade or something. And he could be going into a Viking, which only would make sense that he's going to follow this up with a medevac or a Liberator. And if he's going to follow it up with a Liberator, his Hellions are going to definitely be up in the fucking top. And if he's going to follow it up with a medevac, his Hellions are going to be missing because he doesn't want to lose health on them. And if he ever does engage with before the medevac arrives, he's always going to make sure his fucking Reaper takes damage and not the Hellions. Otherwise, the drop in my base is going to be weaker. So I hope that the movement of someone's units kind of tells you what they're going to do, because they don't want to have red fucking Hellions dropping in my main and instantly dying to like Lings and Queens because he poked up here too much. So I'm confirming right now. I already have assumptions what he's doing. There's possibilities right now, and I'm confirming what he's going to do in a second here with my Overlord running into the fucking main base. So movement of Hellion Reaper right now tells me an indicator of what it's going to follow up into, and also what I fucking see here, the Viking, that tells me an indicator of what I can expect to as well. And that right there, these double depots right here, that's a big sign too. That's a big indicator as well. That's not everyone plays perfect, okay? Not everybody plays perfect, so not everything makes every perfect bit of sense as it always should be. But if someone goes double depot at the ramp, okay, there's one of two things that are happening here. That are happening here. He's either fucked up and he waited too long and he's getting really close to supply blocking, which is actually the case right now, or it's an indicator that tells you this guy is gonna keep making Hellions. Like, the higher level you get at StarCraft, the more that these are real things. At lower level, this doesn't really matter because people fuck up all the time. And it's just a thing that people do. They just make mistakes. But at higher level, people don't really make mistakes. They do things with purpose. They definitely have a cleaner gameplay. And someone who double depose on a setup like this where they opened up 1-1-1, that's a fucking sign that tells you continuous unit production. So don't expect 4 Hellions, expect like 8 or 10. And if somebody's going to make 8 or 10, you can guarantee you're about to get harassed by some bullshit. That's a combination of a lib Hellion harass or a medevac drop Hellion harass in your main in conjunction with another Hellion harass at like your third base. It's like going to happen. Chances are super high that that's going to happen. One of those two things is going to happen. That tells you he's going to continuously make Hellions if it was perfect gameplay. And now we see a command center. So that right there is a huge sign. We see, now we've confirmed what kind of a build it is. We know there's a factory there because he swapped it earlier. That's not a barracks. It's definitely a factory. And he's been making Hellions on it, on a reactor. We see a tech lab that is upgrading some bullshit with a barracks, which tells us this guy not only is going to go bio after his 1-1-1, but he's already having Stimpak early. So this means this guy could do some fucking timing attacks if he wanted to, because that's a really early Stimpak. So it's not out of the question that this guy could go for like a Hellbat timing, or he could go for a medevac drop with 1 medevac or something like that with like 6 Marines in it and just try to like poke drones or some shit. It's very possible that he could do that as soon as Stimpak is done. It's not a guarantee that he's going to do that, but it's a possibility. And we see the no add-on starport, which confirms to us that this guy, again, is doing what we assumed. He's following up his Viking with a medevac or a Liberator, one or the other. If it's a medevac, it's because he's going to drop Hellions in my main, and he's going to simultaneously push my third at the same time, which could make sense with that. Or if it's a Liberator, he doesn't need as many Hellions. He can make a little less, and he can still push my third base with some Hellions and then hit my main or something with a Liberator. And obviously it's a Liberator. We saw it this game. But we can already assume what he's doing before he does it, because everything I've said so far has a purpose and a meaning to it. You don't just build shit randomly. If you're not going to go fucking Banshee, then what he did is fine. But if he was going to go Banshee, why the fuck would he open Viking and then delay the Banshee super hard? You know what I mean? Like, if he was going to go Banshee, he would rather have a Marine, and he wants to kill Overlords, he'd rather have a Marine in the base zoning Overlords to try to hide the Banshees and conceal them, and go quick fucking Banshees, not make Vikings, and then go Banshee, because it's just going to make the Banshee timing when it does arrive not do anything, because he's not going to fucking have enough time to do it. Like, he's going to miss his window. Same thing as what we could say is that, again, like I said before, if he goes Viking first, the chances of him having swapped over the tech lab to the starport is less likely. It could be, but it's less likely going to be the case because of how early the Viking was. And if he's not going to swap over the tech lab to the fucking starport and he's going to go Banshee, he's not only wasting time to go Banshee by making a fucking Viking, but then he's going to waste time to make a tech lab and then start going Banshee. It would be so fucking late. I can, like, even before I saw this, like, so all I was confirming was, did he swap the barracks with the starport add-on? Or is he actually going add-on lists on the starport? And we confirmed, yep, add-on lists. So there's no fucking chance of Banshee or anything like that. It's just Hellion and maybe Medevac or maybe Liberator. And then seeing the third base is macro. Yep, he's macroing. Again, just like the natural earlier, we now confirmed, okay, we can drone. I can make some lings and we can drone. So now, again, I know over the next course of like 2 minutes that there should be Hellions in front of my base. And here's the beautiful thing that I fucked up on and I should have done that I didn't do. If I had Overlords in front of my creep like I said we should have, and I saw Hellions parked in front of my base, they're back here for now, but if I saw Hellions like there, and my Overlord, let's say my Overlord dies to the Viking before I can see what comes out of it, but I see Hellions just chilling here. It's 4. And then 45 seconds later, there's 6. And he's just sitting here. I can 100% confirm that that's a Liberator. Because who the fuck is going to have 0 Hellions and a Medevac go in your main base? Right? That's not going to happen. But if the Hellions disappear from all fucking vision, and they're just missing for like the next 80 seconds, and I'm like, where did he go? I can then assume it's probably going to be a Medevac, because he's loading up the medevac with Hellions, and as soon as his medevac goes to go in my base, he's going to try and get my attention somewhere else and do a multi-prong Hellion attack. You can assume what they're doing by how they move their units as well. So far, we know everything about the game. There's nothing that's confusing to us at the moment. And now here's a big, fat fucking tip. There is no fucking second gas in this guy's main base. Do you know what that means? There's one of two things that means. This guy's either going to go for another command center really fast, or he's going to make a bunch of barracks right now. And that means that this guy is not going to have factory support. And if he does have factory support, it's going to be super fucking late. He's not going to have a lot of gas units, is what I'm trying to say here. He cannot afford upgrades, medevacs, tanks, stimpack, all this shit on one gas. So either he took a faster second gas at the natural, and he does have one there maybe, or he just has some late fucking gas, and he's going to go mineral heavy for longer. So again, what does that mean to us as a Zerg player? I can fucking hit the drone key 1,000,000 times and not have to give a shit. I can go drone, 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 not give a fuck. And I'm making a couple roaches because he has Hellions in front of my base, and I'm going Ling light right now, so I made a couple roaches just to be safe. And now, once again, like I said before, I really should have overlords in front of my creep. It's so bad that I don't. But now, see how he's here? You see how he's at my base right now? I should have had an overlord there. I'm not going to take damage to this. But the fact that he has the Hellions now, a minute later, after the Viking killed my overlord, and I assumed there was no add-on on the starport, and I confirmed there was no add-on on the starport, I can already assume now there is a Liberator somewhere over here. Because of everything we just said. Does that make sense? There is no fucking logical reason that there would be a medevac down there if his units are here. Zero reason. He has not had enough time to make enough Hellions to make a fully loaded medevac at this point in time and have these here. It's too early. And he's pushing me right now. So there is most likely a Liberator somewhere on the... Like, he's up here, obviously, so he's going a little early. But he's getting ready to go into my main base and multi-prong me, essentially. And now there are 6 Hellions here. Once again, confirming even furthermore that there's going to be a Liberator and there's not going to be a medevac loading up Hellions, because it's impossible that there would be 10 Hellions off of one reactored factory right now. That is impossible. So these Hellions make sense that he went over 4 because he made double depot, so it seemed likely that it's going to overdo production. And it makes sense that it's just going to be a Liberator because he's not setting up and hiding Hellions to load up a medevac. So we can already assume there's going to be a Liberator going to my main. Again, I really need fucking overlords here. This is so bad that I don't have them. Because now I have to guess again right now because he's missing. And there he is again. He's going back up again, north. And now there's the Liberator. So the harass phase of the game is... This is standard harassment. It happens a lot. But we can already not just go, oh, it's probably going to be Hellion Liberator. We can actually break down why it's Hellion Liberator. Logically. As we see shit in the game progress. And now he's going to try to poke my natural and shit, whatever. We are zoning him. We're watching the minimap and zoning his units here. Not allowing him to really do damage to my my drone lines. And now we're making a Spore Crawler in each mineral line. Just because I'm fucking lazy. I don't really need them, to be honest. Because I don't expect Banshees and I don't expect Battlecruisers. But just in case this guy goes for more Liberators, I can at least use a fucking Spore to help zone out the Liberator wherever it is in any one of my bases. I really don't need these Spores. But the main reason why I built them is because I only made 5 queens. I actually went Super Queen light this game. Normally I make about 9 queens. But I went Roaches this game, so I went Super Queen light. And I went drone heavy because I saw he was being greedy as well. So I changed my build to accommodate what he was doing. I went way more drone heavy. I went Queen light to spin my larva properly and I get crazy amounts of greed out there. and I made some roaches, and I started roach upgrades. Or I'm starting roach upgrades. You're making a smart color when you see one lib. Not always, no. I'm doing it because I made very low queens and I was really greedy. I very minimally defended myself. So just in case he sends multiple liberators at me, because I don't know if he will or not, he could. This guy has no reason why he can't make another liberator right now. He totally can if he wanted to. And I don't really want to have one queen trying to deal with one liberator in 2 different bases at the same time. Awful. It sounds awful. I would rather have like 5 queens killing a liberator or a spore. I only did this because I was greedy. And then we killed the liberator, and now it's gone, and then we're good to go. And now, by now, he should have definitely had a second liberator if he was going to have a second liberator. It should have already happened, but it hasn't happened yet. And now, the game goes into a moment where is his army going to be right now? Where is it going to be? Think about this for a second. Where do you think his army is going to be? Tempo-wise of the game. What would make sense? Let me take a drink and I'll tell you. It makes sense that his army would be right here. Right now. If he's not there, this guy doesn't know what he's doing. And why would it make sense that his army would be right there? It makes sense that his army would be right there because this game has now shifted from the first stage of the game to now the second stage of the game. This has shifted from a harass phase of the game to now a macro phase of the game. And he just established a third base. And he no longer has control of my base because I just killed his liberator and my creep is getting pretty large and I have army that can zone out his Hellions and his Hellions are no longer working anymore. They're not getting things done. So although his Hellions could still be on the map somewhere, his actual army is going to be at his third base. Because if he moves in the middle of the fucking map, and I run speedlings at his third, I'm going to get a bunch of free SCV kills and the game's going to literally be over. How do you know he has a third base? We've already confirmed it. We literally saw it earlier with the Overlord. And we saw him floating it to which direction he was going to as well. Like, not only seeing the third is a big deal, but seeing what direction it goes when he floats it is a big deal because we know where his third's going to be. So I already know there's a third there, and I already know there's an army there. How do I know it's here? Because he floated it this direction. Nobody's going to go like that and then go like that. Because it's a waste of time. He doesn't know it's saturated, but it's there. Oh, I do know it's saturated. Because it's fucking 6:41 in the game. If you don't have any fucking SCVs on your third base by almost 7 minutes, you don't belong in Masters League as Terran. Like, you better have some fucking SCVs on that third base by now. So, it's guaranteed saturated. Show everyone's vision. I gotta see. Army's right there. Saturated. The tempo of the game has shifted now. Because Terran did not open up. Think about it like this, guys. Terran did not open up with Stimpack Bio. He opened up with Liberator Hellion into Stimpack Bio. Okay? So if he did that, it means his bio is going to be delayed, and Liberator Hellion cannot win against Roach Ling Queen. It literally cannot. So because of his opener, he tried to go for damage. He did a little bit of damage. It wasn't worthless. It was not worthless. But now that that phase of the game has come to an end, he has to fucking defend his third base because he's not ready to take the map yet with bio because it's delayed. He can totally defend himself with bio with SimCity and bunkers and tanks on a cliff or some shit, but he cannot aggressively hold the middle of nowhere with bio. If he tries and I make a lot of units, he throws his entire army away and I just go kill him. It can't do that. So it makes sense that he's going to be defensive. And again, he doesn't have to have the Hellions defensive because they're dog shit against this defensively anyways. But he needs his main army, which is what he's going into now, to be defensive. He could totally try to still harass my drones with Hellions because that's still a harass unit. It's not going to perform very well because he's not going Hellbats or anything like that. So he's still trying to kill my creep with Hellions, and it's totally fine. And now I'm taking a 4th base. We're fully saturated on 3 bases. We are now making roaches with upgrades because we're fully saturated. We're scouting some Naga towers. Again, I know where his army is right now because logically it makes sense. He does not know where I am. Like if I look at his vision, this guy has no fucking clue. For all he knows, I could be running at his base right now. He doesn't have map pack. He needs to defend this. If he walks way the fuck over here and I hit his 3rd base, he loses the game. So it's guaranteed that he's going to defend this because he's not ready to make this push yet. He has to defend himself. He doesn't know where I am at all times. And so I know he's there because of the pacing of the game. I have control of the map for a little while because my current army is stronger than his at the moment. And I am now looking for where the Hellions are because I know that that unit might try to harass my drones again because it doesn't need to be part of his main army. It's a harass tool. So I'm looking for Hellions right now. I'm trying to find them while droning. And I found them. So now I'm trying to go kill the Hellions and I'm trying to zone them. And now behind this, I am making an infestation pit. I am going to make a hive and a spire. And I'm going to, because this is part of my build, I'm going to go fast Broodlord Infester. You don't have to play this way, by the way. It's just a build I chose to do this game, okay? So what am I going to do right now? I'm going to move out of my base right now. I'm going to try to kill the Hellions. And I'm going to attack his base with quotation marks. I'm going to make him defensive while I saturate my 4th base, set up static defense, make infestors, and go into hive tech. I am not actually going to attack him. I am just going to pretend to attack him. Now, if he's really fucking bad at StarCraft and he has nothing, I could actually just go, okay, how about we just attack then? If I get there and he's got nothing, I could be like, okay, what are you doing? Okay, apparently you don't know what you're doing. But obviously chances are he's going to know what he's doing to at least some degree. So I'm going to get there and I'm going to be greeted by siege tanks. This guy has known I've been going roaches for a long time. So I am fully fucking expecting that there's going to be some tanks on the high ground, and tanks in this area. Is there going to be like 10 tanks right now? Absolutely not. At most, there's going to be literally 1, 2 tanks. Like 1 or 2 tanks. There's not going to be fucking 7 tanks right now. It's way too fucking much. The tank count will grow over time, but I would already assume there's going to be 1 or 2 tanks. Probably 1 with the second one on the way. Do you have to be perfect on that? No, but it's logical that he's going to have that. So I try to poke his Hellions. I try to push him back defensively. I know he's here. I fucking know he's there. It makes 100% sense that he would be here. He's defending his 3rd base. Now, watch how I back up. I don't overdo this. I know he's fucking there, and I don't want to walk into tank fire. I'm not trying to die right now. So I back up, and I make Ravagers in his fucking scan because I want him to feel defensive. We stopped the fucking scan right as I made them. But you get the point. I want him to feel defensive right now because I am going Hive Spire, and I'm droning my 4th base in a second here. I'm not trying to lose this army. I'm trying to make him feel pressured. And I'm also zoning out the Hellions at the same time with my reinforcements because he's trying to harass my drones. And now we poke him. Again, I'm not trying to break him. I'm not trying to dive the tanks. And I accidentally somehow walk my fucking Ravagers like an idiot into a bad spot in a second here because this fucking rocks made my AI really stupid. And I clicked the bad spot. I even said it during the game. I was like, why the fuck did I walk my Ravagers there? That was really bad. But all I'm going to do here is I'm going to poke his depots and I'm going to get out. I'm not going to try to go for a big fight. And I'm going to get shot by a tank because I know they exist. I'm not trying to get shot by tanks, but if I go too close, I know I will get shot by a tank. And I just got shot by 2 tanks. Now I could assume there's 2 tanks there. There might be a 3rd tank up here now because this is now later in the game than I previously said. So we got 1 tank, 2 tank, and a 3rd tank now coming. Time. Do I know everything exactly? Not necessarily, but I can predict with time what this guy would have. Now, if this guy opened up with a fucking tech lab on a factory right away, and he was making tanks right off the bat, this guy would have like 6 or 7 tanks by now. But he doesn't have 7 tanks by now because he opened up with Hellions, Light Gas, Third Base, Liberator Hellion, and then went tank. So 2 or 3 tanks max right now is what we should be looking at. And that's exactly how much he has. And notice how we back up? This is where we fucked up the click. I didn't mean to make my Ravagers like run like idiots. Or we fuck it up somewhere. I don't mean to walk here, and I do somehow. And then we get rid of the Hellions. And now the harass phase of the game is over. Hellions are all dead. And now behind this, we already have a Spire almost done, Hive almost done. And now the tempo of the game is shifting. His army is now feeling strong versus what I'm doing because I'm making a tech switch. Two reasons why I know this guy might be unsieging right now and getting ready to come attack my base, or very soon. Number 1, he's making a good army versus my current composition. And number 2, I'm not pressuring him very hard because I'm not overdoing it. I'm not trying to kill him with this composition. I'm swapping my tech. So this guy is, now from this guy's perspective, without even looking at it, he's going like this. All right. I have tanks and bio. Zerg has Roach Ravager. If this Zerg lets me get 5+ tanks, he's going to have a problem. Because Roach Ravager needs to keep tank count under control, and if it starts getting out of control with too many tanks, it just wins. So, and this guy's not attacking me right now. So, if he's not attacking me right now, maybe he's not going to go Roaches and Ravages for very long, so maybe I should go before he tech switches. And over here, I'm going, okay, I'm not attacking him right now. I feigned pressure there for a second, but I don't want to take too much damage getting shot by tanks all day, so I backed off for a moment here. But I should go back there soon because I need him to fucking feel defensive again because I'm not ready for him to push yet because I don't have my tech switch yet. I'm not actually at Infestor Broodlord yet. I'm still kind of a ways off. So I want him to not push me right now because that would be bad for me because I'm not trying to go mass Roach Ravager. I'm not trying to win the game with Roach Ravager. So I need to fucking make him feel defensive until I can get that again. So now that I killed the Hellions, I am now going to immediately go across the map again and make him feel pressured before, hopefully, he moves out to my base. And if he moves out to my base, the best thing I can hope for is making him siege repeatedly in bad spots that are wasting his time and then backing off. And now we're here. We haven't even countered him yet, and now he's still sieged up right here. So this is when I wanted him to be defensive, but I shouldn't have walked all my army like that, stacked up into tanks and got shot multiple times. That was really bad. That's what I'm kind of talking about when that was a stupid-ass move out. I should have moved like 1 Roach to confirm, are your tanks still here? And if they were, okay, cool. Maybe go up here and poke the depots again or something. Don't fucking run in through tank fire 4 times. And now that he sees me backing up, you know, this now, again, now, you know what this guy's going to do that now that I'm running away again? So I'm running away for another reason. I don't have a fucking Overseer, and I don't know exactly where his army is, and I don't want to constantly get hit by tanks. It's kind of scary. So, and now I'm also now making Static D, which is now going to buy me more time again. And now we're getting really close to having Infestors, and our Greater Spire is about to start. Okay? So we're getting really close to having Broodlords. We're actually getting really close to having Broodlord Infestor. And now that Infestors are on the way, they're almost done. Now I'm okay if he pushes me. I don't give a fuck. Because now if he pushes me and I get a good fungal, I'm totally fine. So I didn't want him to push, which is why I pushed first a second ago right there. I wanted him to still feel defensive if I could make that happen and buy me more time. And now that I have Infestors that are actually about to spawn, I don't give a fuck if he pushes, and I can defensively absorb this while I go with Spine, Infestor, Roach Ravager into Broodlord. So I am fully expecting right now that he watched me run away after shooting me with tanks again, this motherfucker is unsieging and moving out right now. He is going to unsiege in the next 5 seconds because he's thinking to himself, why is this guy being so passive with Roach Ravager? I need to move out. So he'll fucking unsiege any second now and go. Chances are fucking high that that's going to happen. He's over here pushing with some bio. So he's doing something. He's not pushing with his main army yet. He's pushing with bio, trying to kill my creep. And he sees me here, and he backs off. He's like, okay, he's got Roach Ravager still, and he's guarding his creep. So now he unsieges, and he fucking goes. He feels confident that he can beat Roach Ravager. And he can. But I'm not trying to go Roach Ravager anymore. I haven't been trying to go Roach Ravager for a while. I'm going fucking Infestors and Broodlords. So I'm okay with him pushing now. So I'm fully expecting him now to push me either on the top or the bottom. And if he doesn't walk on my creep in the next like 10 seconds, it's going to be the bottom because my creep strat is stronger on the top side because the Hellions were annoying as fuck on the bottom side. And they killed my creep earlier. And I'm trying to fix that while we go. And now I see him pushing. So this is expected. I already assumed that he was going to push me because I was trying to waste his time by attacking him when I wasn't really attacking him. I wanted him to be defensive as long as possible. And if he would have sat back even longer and waited even longer, I would have had an even better chance of winning because I would have had Broodlords by the time he did his first push. I don't actually have Broodlords in this push. I will have it after this push, but I don't have it right now. But I do have Infestors with Fungal Growth. So I'm going to fucking murder this push in a second here. And I can clearly see where he is right now because he's walking on my creep. And my creep tumors. And now he walks right here. And what do? I hide my Infestors until the last fucking second. I don't walk in the scan with my Infestors. I wait till he comes. I also don't push up the ramp. I wait till he comes down the ramp and I fungal him. So he doesn't react to the Infestor. And now he's fucked. His whole fucking bio army is fungled. And I'm going to chain it. And now I can actually win, even though this army would dumpster the shit out of Roach Ravager. 6 tanks, a bunch of Marines, and a bunch of and like 3 medevacs. This army would obliterate Roach Ravager. Now it won't because no longer is it Marine medevac tank. Now it's just medevac tank. And this guy also sieges, which is a great thing for us. Because what this guy absolutely should do right now is load up his fucking tanks and boost away. And run away. But no, he sieges to try to take the fight, and he guarantees all of his tanks will die now. Now all his bio died. All of his tanks are dying. And we just reset his entire army. And now the fight's over. He forgot to split. Well, he didn't know I had Infestors. He thought I was, again, it's a metagame thing. He thought I was going Roach Ravagers the entire time. Because all I showed him was Roach Ravager. He did not know I had an Infestation Pit or a Spire or a Hive or anything like that. He didn't see the Infestors until he was already Fungal Growth because I waited until the last second. I didn't show it on purpose. He didn't really have a choice there. If he would have pre-spread and assumed I was going Infestors and assumed I was transitioning, that's a different story. And it would have made sense to assume I'm transitioning because I was so fucking passive with Roach Ravager. Logically, it made sense that I was transitioning. But he didn't assume that. He assumed he was owning me because I couldn't break him with Roach Ravager because every time I poked him, I ran away while getting shot by tanks. He literally misread the game. And then, after this, what is he going to do behind this? He continues to go into bio, and he prepares another army of tank marine, and I'm now going Broodlords. So, it takes 2 fungals to kill a marine, right? Yeah. If it's not healed by a medevac, yes. So now, again, at this point in time, I can safely assume he is now back at his base, trying to recover the massive fucking loss he just took. He's trying to recover now. He's not trying to push me again. He's trying to recover. And while he tries to recover, what am I going to do? I'm going to go check for a 4th base. The fight happened on the south side as well, so I'm going to quickly check the south side 4th base first. I'm not going to run on my side of the map all the way to north and then go check north side. I'm going to check the south side first because I'm already on the south side. And also, this base is probably even easier to defend than that one as well. It would make sense. This base is tucked further back into his base than this one is. This one's a bit more exposed. There's no choke point either. It's like wide open because this is actually walkable terrain here. This is a bit more of a choke point. It's easier to defend. So it logically makes sense for us to scout this base first in multiple reasons. And what do we see when we get here? A fucking 4th base. Because it's the tempo of the game has now allowed me to do this. I didn't do this while he was pushing me. I did it right after the push was over. I maximized my time here to make sure we can control the map. And he can't stop this right now for 2 reasons. Number 1, I might be all-inning him. He doesn't know that I'm fucking going Broodlord still. He doesn't know that this is all I have. If he knew this is all I had, he would not push. For all he knows, I'm fucking maxed out on Roach Ravager. Because again, he does not know. He doesn't have map hack. And all I've shown him this game so far is Roach Ravager, and that was the first time he saw Infestors. He has not seen Broodlords or Aspire yet. So you could argue that this guy's scouting needs to be improved. But he respects the fact that I could pounce on his ass with mass Roach Ravager if he overextends right now to try to defend this. So what does he do? He initially is here to see this, and he goes, fuck it. I don't want to die right now. Let's evacuate. He could have defended that. But he doesn't know how much shit I have. Again, for all he knows, I'm maxed out. I should be maxed out if I wasn't transitioning. But I'm not maxed out because going Hive, going Broodlords, going Greater Spire is fucking expensive. So my supply is lower because I'm making expensive as shit supply and tech. But now here's the crazy thing. Before he realizes that he could have actually stabilized on that base and defended that, he's now going to continue making an army that can deal with Roach Ravager by making more tanks and more Marines and more medevacs. And suddenly he's going to be fighting fucking Broodlords, which is the last thing in the world he wants to fight right now. So now we back off. We're concealing our army. We're not trying to lose it. Again, it's more intimidating that we don't lose this than if we lost this. If I just ran this in and it all died, he'd be like, what the fuck is this guy doing? Why'd you just throw your army away? Which my army would die, right? If I just sent this in, this would not beat that. I would literally not beat like 5 tanks again and a bunch of bio with this army. I would literally die. This army would lose. But the fact that I'm concealing it makes the Terran player go, fuck, okay, where is he? Defensive, which it buys me time to expand and rotate my tech. So I know he's defensive right now. It allows me to bully him while I spread my creep and contain him. And then as soon as my tech is up, what are we going to do? We're going to go push, and I'm going to confirm one more time really quick before I push with my Broodlords and see if he's going, you know what? Let's retake my 4th base. What if he actually does go here now? I don't fucking know. We should totally go check one more time to make sure he's taking that base. So now I'm going to move forward, and I'm going to scout it just to make sure he's on that base. I thought I was going to scout it. I really fucking should scout it like right now. Because I want to confirm where my Broodlords are going to go before I send them in the wrong location. And now, even without scouting it, we can kind of assume they took this base because there's a fucking sensor tower right there on the minimap. So, who the fuck makes a sensor tower and makes nothing else there? And has a 4th base there? Like, or has a 4th base up there instead. He's got a 4th base there now because he made a sensor tower. So, but we're still confirming it either way. We're like, do you have it? Yep, he's got buildings there. Cool. We know shit's there. And then we send one link in to just check for tanks and shit so we don't get overkilled. And yep, he's remaking tanks still. We're good to go. Notice how we manually, purposely leave our infestors out of the scan radius? What if he pushes forward really fast? Free fungal growth for me because he didn't know they were there. Because we left him in the fog of war. And now suddenly he scans again. And now the Terran goes, oh, fuck. This Zerg player has Broodlords. I am not expecting... So here's the thing. The Terran player has 2 choices right now. Number 1, he's going to stay right here if he's got a lot of Vikings. Or Ghosts or something. He will stay there if he has a lot of Vikings or Ghost. If he doesn't have that composition, though, which we know he doesn't because we've seen it multiple times now and there was no fucking Vikings, it's perfectly normal that he's going to run across my creep right now. Because he's going to... If he stays to defend, he dies. He literally can't defend this. He's going to fucking die if he tries. There's no fucking way Bio can stop that. Infestor Broodlord absolutely dumpsters Marine tank. Like, not even close. So, the fact that he goes into a counterattack base trade mentality is perfectly normal here. It's perfectly normal. So, I already know he's up here right now, and I can assume he's either going to go here if he wants to try and defend it, or he's going to go here if he goes, I can't stop that right now. And he's going to trade base for base, or he's going to try to. And what do we see? Look at our creep spread as well. Good creep spread gives us easy map vision. So as we push, and he saw that, Terran decides, you know what? No. Fuck that shit. We're going right. We're leaving. I don't have any Vikings. I got 1 weak Viking from early game. I got nothing but Marine tank. I can't stop that right now. So what do? We have our Broodlords fuck this base up while we send our entire army back now, which is Infestors and Roach and Ravager. And we also have an Ultradin coming, and we have more Lings coming as well, and we have upgrades coming and all this shit. And we also have Spine still to buy us some time in our base. So we're still totally fine. We should probably bring the Broodlords back, because if we just push this back and zone it out, we still are winning the game pretty hard. But as long as I get some decent fungals or some shit, we're going to have a totally fine fight here. So my army's grouping up. I'm getting ready to take a fight. We push. We get a couple nice fungals here. Again. We get fungals all over the bio. And our Lings are on top of the bio too, so the tanks are shooting themselves on top of the bio, which is great. Chaining a few fungals there. We kill most of the bio. This guy microed that kind of shitty. He kind of clumped up a little bit too hard there. And now we're just cleaning up with chaining fungals and running away while Broodlords come back to clean up the tanks. And now another round of Lings is going to spawn and clean up the rest of whatever's left on the bio. And again, Broodlords are cleaning up the tanks. And Corruptors are trying to clean up the medevacs as well. So the fight has now turned into a situation where he now lost us. That's the second time this guy has lost an army, okay? Number 2, second time this guy has lost an army. This game is basically over now. How do I know this game is basically over now? Because this Terran player is on 4 bases and he lost everything twice. What does that mean? His supply is not maxed out, and he needs to be maxed out to have any chance to fucking win right now. And it's going to be really fucking hard for him to tech switch because he can't fucking afford it. He's limited on money. Now, let's talk about economy for a second. I can already tell you, without even looking at his bases yet, this base only has 4 patches left. This base only has 4 patches left. How do you know his supply? Because I know his fucking economy and I know it's capable. How do I know that this base only has 4 patches left and this base only has 4 patches left? Because patches that are far, these ones right here, only last for 8 minutes. These patches last for 16. So this base and his main base is only going to last for 4 more minutes and then it's completely gone. This base at his natural is going to last for probably another like 6 minutes and then it's gone. And to be fair, his patch literally has 25 fucking minerals left. It's like mining out in just a second. But now I know this base still has a lot of patches, and this base still has a lot of patches because they're brand new bases. Like this base is a brand new base, and this base was taken at like 6 minutes, like 5:30 to 6 minutes. So it's not like it's been up for over 8 minutes yet. So it's very unlikely that unless you mule drop this base constantly, it's unlikely that. And also Terran's a little bit weird with that because mules definitely make shit mine out faster. But yeah, it's unlikely that all the patches are going to be gone here. But you can't have infinity resources in this fucking game. So look at my... Okay, and here's another way to gauge it, okay? Here's another way to gauge it. Look at my fucking supply right now. And look at my total resources. You see that? Now, before we look at before we talk about my resources, let me ask you a question. If you had to guess, who do you think has been more cost efficient in this game so far? With armies. Like, who has lost more resources? You think that Terran has been more cost efficient? Are you sure about that? What makes you think Terran's been more cost efficient in this game? I'm asking you. No, it definitely isn't. I'm just want you to think about it, right? I just want you to think about it. The Terran is definitely not more cost efficient in this game because the only thing he's done so far this whole game that paid for itself was the Liberator in my main base. His Hellions did not pay for themselves. They did not kill more than what they were worth in terms of units that were there. They died to roaches with killing a couple creep tumors, and creep tumors don't cost anything money wise. His first bio attack here killed some roaches and ravagers, but he lost every fucking tank, and he lost like 95% of his bio. I lost 0 infestors, and I lost my roach ravager army that wasn't even trying to max out with. And then he lost another army right here. All of his tanks died again. All of his marauders died. A lot of his ghosts died. All of his marines died. And I lost 0 broodlords, and I only lost like 2 infestors. I definitely have been more cost efficient in this game. So if I've been more cost efficient in this game, and I can't even max out with my current economy after all these trades have happened, how the fuck can he max out? He definitely cannot. It's impossible that he can max out right now. Although my army is more expensive than his, so his supply is going to be a little bit higher than what mine would be otherwise, because he's not making an army that's as expensive as I am. I'm still not even close to maxing at the moment, and I spent most of my money. And he is definitely not close, because he is taking loss after loss after loss. Now, that's only one reason why we know he's not maxed out, and we know his supply is shit. The second reason why we know his supply is shit is because I saturated my 4th base at like 8 minutes. I did not allow him to saturate his 4th base until like 11 minutes. So I had a 4th base for a lot longer than he did for more time. And at this point now, I even have a 5th base that's saturated. But I delayed his 4th, if you remember. I made him lift it off and all the SCVs died. And then because he was like, I don't know if I can defend this. And then he came back after I left, because I was not trying to actually kill him there, because I was transitioning to broodlords. So his economy is also not stronger than mine. So you can take away that possibility, where even though I'm not maxed out, what if Terran's got a better economy than me? He definitely does not. His economy's not dog shit. It's not awful. He's got 4 bases, but it's definitely not stronger than mine. It's not like he's been outmining me all game. So that's how I can assume what his supply is at this point in time in the game with the tempo of what's happened so far. Everything matters. I don't forget anything that happened. I can literally tell you at this point right now, every fucking step of this game that has happened, because they all matter. They all lead you to the point we're at now. So now we push, and it makes sense. Why does it make sense that we push and he's defensive? Because we're about to max out, and we have a better army than him, and he doesn't have enough money to do both tech switch to deal with what I'm doing and make a large army really fast. He cannot do both. So if he can't do both right now, you know what that means? That is a window of opportunity for us to fucking kill him right now. So we're definitely going to push that. And it's definitely going to be a guaranteed that he's going to be defending his base, because he doesn't have any fucking units. Like, his army is low. He doesn't have a lot of shit to work with at the moment. And now, as you can see, we're about to max. And this is why it's also it's reaffirming the fact that he has nothing, because who the fuck is just going to let their economy die? No one's going to be like, oh, I could defend that. But you know what? Kill my 3rd in the meantime. No one's going to play that way. If he can defend this, he'd fucking defend it before his SCVs die and his command center dies. So he obviously can't. And it reaffirms that I'm not wrong in my assumption that he can't defend this, for all the reasons we talked about already. But am I getting sloppy and YOLO? No, I'm literally taking my time to push to his base, and I'm grouping up my army. Why do you go ultras here? Because what is he going to do to deal with broodlords? He's going to go Marines. He's going to go possibly Viking. He's going to go possibly Thor. And he's going to go possibly Ghost. And do you want to know what half of those units are really shitty against? A fucking Ultralisk. So I'm creating a larger problem for him, because, like I just said a second ago, he does not have enough money to tech switch and deal with broodlords and simultaneously have a large army. He doesn't have a lot of fucking money. He's not rich right now. He's not fucking loaded. So if he's really skimping the bottom of the barrel here, trying to just fucking scrap together some kind of recovery, I can create a larger problem for him right now by having ultras run in his fucking face while he also has to deal with broodlords that he can barely deal with in the meantime. Do I have to go ultras? No, I don't have to go ultras. I don't have to do this. But it's creating a larger problem right now that he can't fucking deal with. And you know what ultras do as well? Ultras give me the ability to kill expansions super fast and be super mobile. So worst case scenario, he defends broodlords and I go kill his fucking fourth base. And now he's starving because now it's at 13 minutes and he has no resources in the main or natural very much at all anymore. It's pretty much dried up. And now he can't afford anything. And I can make whatever the fuck I want and win the game from there. When do you have time to get ultra upgrades? Whenever the fuck I want. I'm rich as fuck. I don't have a money problem. I can max out with every upgrade in the world right now. I already have all my tech and I have a good economy. I have like fucking 10 gases active right now. I do not have a problem getting upgrades for ultras right now. So I took that shit right when I made the ultra den. Like immediately after the building was done. I didn't delay it until I could afford it. I could already afford it by then because I was already done making broodlords by then and already done making infestors by then. Keep in mind too, everything I'm saying does not apply to every single game. It's tempo of game. You have to know how to read the tempo of the game. I would not get it immediately. I would not even make the ultra den if I wasn't rich. The only reason why I tech switched again is to create a larger problem for him because he can't afford it and I can. So like, that's why I'm saying, with everything I just said, if your takeaway from that is get upgrades for ultras right after your cavern's done, that's not correct. Always. Because if you can't afford it, you'd be better off just canceling the fucking ultra den if you make a mistake because you're poor and going back into something else that will keep you alive now than actually investing in the ultra den and then investing into upgrades to the ultra den, which won't ever actually be active in time before he kills you. It's tempo of game. The only reason why it made sense for me to go ultras here and get upgrades immediately was because I did not have a money problem. I was fucking loaded and I did it to create a larger problematic composition that he can't deal with. I had all the money in the world here. I have like every advantage. And if you don't have every advantage, it will not work like that. And now we push. And he has to deal with not only getting fungal growth. Like these ghosts have a lot of things to do. He's got to knock it fungaled. Simultaneously somehow snipe the fucking broodlords. Simultaneously somehow snipe the ultras. Somehow also simultaneously not get run over by zerglings. You see what I mean? Like this composition is fucking hectic. And it was really hard for him to deal with. Not because ghosts lose to a diverse composition. If he had 200 supply, I would have probably lost this fight. But he didn't have 200 supply. He had like 150. Because he doesn't have enough fucking time to create a defense because we pounced on his ass. And that's another reason why we went ultras, is because they're faster at reinforcing my army quickly than a broodlord is, because broodlords take a lot longer to make. And I didn't want to turn all of my broodlords, all my corruptors into broods, because I wanted some to snipe medevacs and also Vikings if he potentially goes into a little bit of Viking or liberators or whatever. So hopefully, how was that breakdown? You like that? Hopefully that made sense. I tried to make the most sense of that.